go on to the last race of the season for the senior club division on the RMC Clubsport finale here at Kerpen. Your grid is as follows. 15 competitors will line up on the rolling start formation as follows. On pole position will be Yannick Herrmann in the 399 with Flint Schniggenberg alongside in the 382. Patrick Labouche in the 322 will have Bastien Barlage in the 393 alongside. Philip Keskich will be on P5 on the inside of row 3 alongside Prabhat Singh Bhaiya in the 355. Max Busch in the 379 will have Niklas Schmitzek alongside for company. And rounding out the top 10 is the 357 of Isabel Schäfer and the 348 of Johannes Engelking. Rounding out the 15 strong will be Frank Weidner, Nico Kersch, Philipp Dreschler and Lim Kion Kublik with Selina Schleicher starting from 15th position, with the 4 at the bottom of the field not having completed the last race, with the latter two, Kublik and Schleicher, being involved in that turn 2 incident on the first race earlier on today. So this time it will be 14 minutes plus an additional lap. It'll be the same for the next 2 races. They just try and get Herrmann and Schniggenberg to try and get everyone into formation as everyone tries to get up into position. Some drivers deciding to weave, including the likes of Kesic and also Schäfer, as they go into the Schumacher chicane here at Kerpen. Round the final corner they come, into the tram lines, hopefully no infringements this time. We go, lights out, and the timer starts ticking away. Or I don't think we do. That might have been a full start because the timer didn't start ticking away. But it looks like there is a bit of... now, I'm wondering... It looks like they have... I'm just trying to keep up with the timing at the moment as they look like they are at full racing speed. So drivers nearly tripping up all over each other as they will come down the back straight, which they're doing now. So it looks like that Herrmann is leading. Schniggenberg, I think, is in 2nd position. No, there is a bit of change because Labouche is now in 2nd place. So we are under full racing, green flag racing conditions as Schäfer coming under pressure from Bhaiya. So Schäfer up into 7th position already after the first lap has been completed. So Schniggenberg now looks to be down in P3 as there's a bit more argy-bargy a little bit further down the order with Kersch getting involved with Schmitzek there. That's the battle over 9th position. So the 387 trying to get a bit further up the order as there's a bit sideways through turn 4 for the 355 of Prabhat Singh Bhaiya just then. As the drivers now again make their way down the back straight. As Schäfer holding on for 7th position in the minute and is coming under close proximity from, that's Nico Kersch trying to go up the inside of the 357. They go through the Schumacher S's. Schäfer holding on, so not letting Kersch get by at the minute. So good defensive work there from Isabel Schäfer, but now Kersch has got the opportunity. So goes up the inside of Schäfer, as does, it looks like, I think that's Kim Leon Kublik. It's also got past that, demotes Isabel Schäfer down into 9th position at the moment. Having started in 9th place a bit earlier, but managed to gain a couple of places on the first lap. Just under 12 minutes to go, plus 1 lap of this season in the Senior Club Championship here at Kerpen. And Yannick Herrmann still continues to lead from Patrick Labouche, Flint Schniggenberg, Philip Kesic, Max Busch, Bastien Barlang, I think, as well now, as Schäfer is being chased down by Selina Schleicher. So Schleicher now up from dead last, up into 10th position, and was right behind the back bumper of Isabel Schäfer heading down into turn 2. And that looks to be the case. The position has been changed. So Selina Schleicher now gets in front of Isabel Schäfer for what is now 9th position on the road. So Schleicher trying to get up the order as much as possible. But in the meantime, Yannick Herrmann has got a gap of, last time around, 1.1 seconds. Looks to be extending slightly from Schnigenberg. And then it's all kicking off behind the 382. There's a gap of 1.566 seconds as there's a move possibly up the inside. And that was Max Busch has got past, I think, through past the 322 of Labouche into turn 2. So Hermann just trying to keep away from Schnigenberg. They had a great battle last time out as Barois closes on the back bumper of Isabel Schäfer, who rounds out the top 10 at the moment. 10 minutes and 13 seconds plus an additional lap. And Labouche is being pressurised now by Max Busch and also Bastian Barlang. So there's going to be a lot of argy-bargy. I think I can see it coming. Philip Kesic and also Nico Kersh now trying to assert their way up into the top 5. As there is a move up the inside, and that was on Labouche, who has dropped down into what looks to be 4th place. As Max Busch went up the inside into turn into turn 3. So it's still very close at the moment. As we've got yellow flags briefly waving towards turn 1. So 9 minutes and 22 seconds plus an additional lap still to go. The gap is just being relentlessly extended between Yannick Hermann and Flint Schnigenberg. It was 2.1 seconds. It's nearly 3, as it looks to be that we could have another move up the inside into turn 2. And that was a great move by Nico Kersh, who's just got himself up into P4 through the exit of turn number 2. So Kersh now trying to make up for the mechanical that put him out of the running and actually put him out of the race last time out. 8 minutes and 51 seconds still to go. And it's anyone's guess what could happen, because even though Hermann is leading, there is still time. There is still time with the pace that Nico Kersh is setting, and he's setting the timesheets purple. 46.326. A couple of laps ago from Nico Kersh on the 387. So at the moment it is Hermann leading by 3.2 seconds from Schnigenberg. Busch in 2nd. Kersh now in 4th ahead of Labouche in 5th place. Barlage in 6th. Kesic in 7th. Schleicher now up into P8 and is only on, well, is closing on the back bumper of the 363 for what is 7th position on the road. Kim Leon Kublik and Isabel Schäfer round out the top 10. Singbauer, Dreschler, Schmitzek, Weidner and Endelking look to round out the 15 that are all still circulating. The clouds have really started to come in. There is there's an air of darkness, and also quite literally darkness starting to surround the circuit here at Kerpen. As we're fast approaching the halfway point of the timer, clicking away. So Nico Kersh now getting very, very much up close and personal, or trying to catch up to Flint Schnigenberg, who is now down in 2nd position. The move that I saw earlier on was actually Max Busch and the 379 going up the inside of Schnigenberg a bit earlier on through the circuit. So 7 minutes down, 7 minutes to go, plus 1 lap. And I must be completely honest that Schnigenberg is not letting the 379 out of his sight. Well, Kersh has got past the 382. So Max Busch now really coming under close scrutiny and is going to have to engage in close quarter defence and combat with Nico Kersh, who has absolutely flown his way up the field to now what is 3rd place, but could have 2nd momentarily. As the 348 of Johannes Engelking is going to have to watch out what happens. Oh, we've had a retirement there, pulling straight off of the circuit. That is Frank Weidner. Frank Weidner calls it a day. But not at his own wanting. So Frank Weidner, unfortunately, pulls the 388. off to the right-hand side of the start-finish line. So there's definitely some more battling going up and down the order. But here's the battle for second on the screens for those watching at home, because Yannick Herrmann has a lead of over 4.8 seconds. But Max Busch and Nico Kerst now having a battle of their own. This is for the second place position. And we've now got a mechanical black flag. That is for Isabelle Schaefer, I believe. That's the 357. Yeah, that's a mechanical black flag. So Isabelle Schaefer's unfortunate, race is unfortunately now coming to an end. Now running in second position, or 11th position. Oh, that's very, very wide. Very wide. Max Busch went jumping over the grass and over the curbs on the exit of turn number 2. As Nico Kerst sent it up the inside of the 379, who ended up running wide. Now, I'm not too sure if there was contact there, but that's down to race control and the race stewards to make that executive decision. So, along with Frank Weidner, we will have Isabelle Schaefer, unfortunately, having to retire from this race. So, we'll go down from 15. As there we go, Schaefer acknowledges it and now pulls in. So mechanical black flag eliminates Isabelle Schaefer from the race. And I'm just keeping an eye on what is now happening. And Nico Kerst is absolutely flying. With around 4 minutes to go, I said there was still time. I think I could be right, because the gap now between first and second position has gone down. And it's gone down significantly. It's now down to around 2.7 seconds. So it just goes to show that if you want it bad enough, if you're hungry enough, you're going to go for it. And that is exactly what Nico Kerst is doing. And I've just seen Herrmann cross the line. Kerst, that gap has been absolutely decimated. Yannick Herrmann did a 48.9 on the last lap. Might have had a difficult lap to deal with, as the 379 of Max Busch goes up the inside of the 322 of Patrick Labouche for what is now 5th on the road. But Nico Kerst, over the last couple of laps, is nigh on the back bumper of the leader with 3 minutes and 15 seconds to go, plus an additional lap. It's game on for the final race victory of the season in Senior Club. And now I'm just wondering, it's quite interesting, because Nico Kerst has just been absolutely charging forward like a Trojan horse at the Roman army. And he's about a kart length behind. Now, the only thing that I can surmise is whether Kerst has got the pace, or has Herrmann got a problem. Because to see the pace that Yannick Herrmann had, he did a 47.9 on the previous lap, and Nico Kerst did a 47.0 and was over 9/10 of a second quicker. So the leaders now will very shortly come down the back straightaway. And the lead has changed. The lead has changed. Yannick Herrmann now having to let Nico Kerst go back past. But I'm just wondering whether he's just trying to get the kart to the finish. But let's just see what the lap times are now. 47.079 from Nico Kerst and Yannick Herrmann. That was just under half a second off. But he's still up to full racing speed. I don't know whether he's just had a couple of difficult laps. As again, well, the 382 of Flinch-Niggenberg, definitely not in the mire. Oh no, and that is the rear axle and the bump. That kart is not healthy at all. That looks to be, that's not Selina Schleicher, is it? Was that the 378? That is Selina Schleicher. 2 DNFs on the same day, on the final day of the season. Disaster for Selina Schleicher. So with 1 minute and 23 seconds of the season, plus an additional lap left to go, Nico Kerst is just trying to just keep away from Yannick Herrmann, and has got a gap of around, so they've got yellow flags in at turn 2, and that is for the forlorn kart of Selina Schleicher in the 378. That's definitely how Selina would not like to finish the season. Could all DD2 drivers make their way to the pre-grid? So could all DD2 drivers make their way to the pre-grid, please? So we are on the penultimate lap of the season here as Nico Kerst now comes through the Schumacher chicane round the final corner, gets the final lap board, now gets the head down, now gets the sign that he wanted and would have wanted it last time out had it not been for a technical issue. And has a gap of just over 4.5 tenths of a second over Yannick Houman. It's going to be a bit close at the finish, I fear, with Bastien Balaj in third place. Max Busch and Patrick Labouche rounding out the top 5. Flint Schniggenberg could have been a factor in earlier on in the race, but now has dropped down to 6th position as the 2 leaders now make their way through into the Schumacher chicane for the final time. The checkered flag now being prepared. He wanted a victory earlier. He's got one now, has Nico Kerst in the 387 by just 0.423 of a second ahead of Yannick Houman, who was leading but had a couple of difficult laps that put him on the back foot and gave Kerst the advantage he needed. Balaj rounds out the top 3, a further 1.9 seconds adrift ahead of Labouche in the 322. Flint Schniggenberg rounds out the top 5 positions, all covered by 8.4 seconds at the end of the race. Filip Kesic was over the line in 6th place ahead of Prabit Singh Baya in the 355. Philip Dreschler rounds out the top 8 ahead of Niklas Schmitzek and Kim Leon Kubli. Max Busch will end up classified as 11th ahead of Isabel Schäfer, who had a mechanical black flag shown her way, but managed to cross the line on 18 laps completed, with Johannes Engelking rounding out the 13 that finished the race, with unfortunately retirement just 4 laps from the end for Selina Schleicher, and Frank Weidner being the other retirement from this race.